are. This side's still sleeping. You guys all excited? Yeah. Okay, good. Well, welcome to Westlake Village, Center for Spiritual Living. So I'm going to invite you all to stand up. And we are, going to become one big family. You all ready? Okay, here we go. Now the lyrics are right up here, so just follow along with us. Here we go. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Okay, come on, rock it out. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. Get up now. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Brian Gatson. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. Get up now. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Well, good morning now. How do you feel now? Whew. So I just got back from Guatemala yesterday. It was and boy, am I tired. It was a 15-hour journey from Rio Dulce to LAX. And then 14 hours to get through LAX. No, that's because of Steve Brabant. No, actually, it was really easy. LAX was very easy. But it was a very long trip. It's been an amazing week. I did miss being here, and I did watch the service. So I heard Reverend Joyce and Barbara talking about my control issues. I did call a few times to make sure it was going the way I had planned it. And it did, very much so. But it's very interesting being all the way there and watching you all here and recognizing the connection and realizing that I wasn't very far away. I was like right here and you were there. So it's a great way to talk about, come on up, Steve, let's talk about what it's like to honor all the different spiritual paths. So I invite you to take a deep breath. So I'm also very emotional today,
Barbara says it's because I'm tired. But it isn't. I mean, and I'm not really that tired. I had a very good night's sleep. There's so much love going on in Guatemala and all over the world, really. And I think too often we are forced to seeing the things that don't promote love all over the world. And I think what we do here every Sunday in this little ceremony is spend some time pointing out the love, pointing out the commonality, pointing out what makes us one people, one big family. So thank you for the tissues. So let's start. We light the first candle, Steve, for the Tao, which is the universal path of harmony. And the second candle is for the shamanic traditions, the primal spirituality of all indigenous people. The next candle is for Hinduism, celebrating knowledge, action, and devotion. Followed by Judaism, living by sacred law, which truly is just love one another. Recognize that you are what everyone else is, and that's just love. The next candle is for all forms of Buddhism, which celebrates innate wisdom, loving kindness, and compassion. Followed by Christianity, the Christ consciousness, not the man, the consciousness that the man had, the consciousness of love, the willingness to step into a consciousness that far exceeds this world and takes us to that place where we not only know who we are, we act from that place. So now I'm living in and as this Christ consciousness. Islam, submission to the will of God is the highest calling, calling forth the highest in each one of us, recognizing that's the only will of God, that we live from that place. And the next candle is the Baha'i faith, unity and peace for all people everywhere. And then all forms of new thought. Mental healing through universal spiritual principles, the only principles being all there is God. And there is the power in the mind to use the law of cause and effect for our highest and greatest. And the final candle is for all spiritual paths that have yet to be known. And I'd like to add today, for all people who don't even know that they are on a spiritual path. Because whether they know it or not, they are. Because it's all spiritual, everything. It's all God. And now this final candle is yours to do with as you will. To take that thing in you, that light in you, that spark in you, and put it on something. Give it to someone. Shine it on someone. Or shine it on yourself. But honor that you have that power to take that light and direct it. So as I invite you to take another deep breath, I want to invite up Heather Powers and Jason Powers. They're going to lead us in a Buddhist chant this morning, which I think, you want to go this way? Oh, you can take that. Would you tell us what this chant says? Is the English going to be on the page? It's going to be up here for you all to follow.
Yeah, he's going to.
You're going to do it? Great.
Yes. So if you raise this up just as possible.
Yes. I can do it. Is that good?
So I'm going to invite you in this now to drop into your heart space. It's a holy moment. It's a holy space. This is why Heather and I walk without shoes, because the ground that we stand on is holy. And this is a very special place, and I could feel the love in the space. So this is the mantra of what is known the Heart Sutra. It's a very ancient Buddhist chant. And in this, it has all the core tenets of Buddhism. And basically it translates that we are awakening to the presence of who we are, which is beyond what you know. It's beyond what you may have experienced. There's a place right within the core of your being, in your heart space. It's beyond your personality. It is the core of one, and this is Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisoha. So we invite you to Om 3 times with us. Let your voice be heard.
Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhisoha. Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhisoha. Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhisoha. Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhisoha. Let's do that again.
Gone beyond.
Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhisoha. Here we go. Gone beyond. In the emptiness, only love will linger on. Far beyond, from the stillness we arise to sing love song. There we go. Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhisoha. Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhisoha. Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasangate Bodhisoha. Gone beyond. In the emptiness, only love will linger on. Far, far beyond. From the stillness we arise to sing love song. Oh.
So taking the energy of that beautiful chant into ourselves at a deeper level, know with me that we are in communion right here and right now with Spirit in a powerful way. And our service today brings together all of us in knowing that there is indeed only God, right here and right now. And on behalf of our congregation, I simply say thank you, God, for this opportunity to be here in this wondrous experience. And so it is.
Om gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhisoha. Om gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhisoha. Bodhisoha, bodhisoha. Gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhisoha.
Beyond, beyond.
Om gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhisoha. Bodhisoha. Beyond, beyond. You Om with us.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was Om. Namaste.
Let's give some love to Heather and Jason. Let's go. So what we've just done is center ourselves. You know, most prayer is really just about pushing out the noise and centering ourselves to find, you know, many people use different words for God, but to find that place of accessibility. So, speaking of accessibility, so what is our theme this month?
Remember who I am.
Oh.
It's all right. Barbara will tell me when I can have a mic.
If you didn't hear that, he said, Barbara will tell me when I can have a mic.
Just kidding.
So remember who you are. So anything happened this month? It's only been 2 weeks, but...
Yeah. Well, it's funny you would say 2 weeks, because 2 weeks ago you gave a preview to this by connecting it with the other two themes of love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. And I was sitting in the second row, and all of a sudden I was just hit with something as you were connecting the dots about that, Dr. James. And it just struck me how difficult that really is. And that led to an internal, and this all happened in less than 15 seconds, and that led to an internal conversation inside myself about, so what's that about? And what rose up for me personally as I was sitting there going through it was Marianne Williamson's essay on our greatest fear. That our greatest fear isn't in our incompetence, but how powerful we really are. And how we hide our light or are in fear of our light more than we are in fear of our darkness. That was just struck me as I sat there. So I went home and reviewed the essay again, and I've been thinking about that for 2 weeks. I don't have any grand, masterful conclusions, but you definitely sparked something.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you know what? You don't have to have a conclusion.
Yeah.
I think we work so hard on getting conclusions, and yet if we just live what you just did, that's the conclusion.
Yeah.
That we just keep doing that over and over and over again. That's great. So do you want to lead us in our affirmation?
Sure. All right. Let's all join together and raise our voices, because if we don't do it right, folks, we'll be here for a while until James says we have done this right. I'd like to see us out by 11 o'clock. So join with me in saying,
I know who I am, and I live it out loud. That was great.
Thank you, Jim.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. I'd say you put the fear of God into them, but that would be a good thing, to put God into everything you do. So the theme this month, as you know, is remember who you are. And this beautiful young lady, Heather Powers, is, well, first of all, I'm saying swiftly turning into Shorty is. She just takes all of this and musicalizes it in such a way. I came in this morning and she was rehearsing and I had to leave because I was like turning into just like mush, just listening to this voice that can only have been literally brought up from the depths of truth, and then to bring your powerful words to it. So, Heather Powers.
So we're going to go back into the heart. Music is so powerful. First of all, it transcends any of our ideologies or any of the dogmas that we hold. And it has this way of sinking down into the crevices where there's still light yet to be revealed. And so the opening line of this song is "Come to the temple." And we're just going to go into the temple. You are each going to go into the temple, that untouched, that unbroken space where the truth of who you are, which is just love, resides. And so I invite you to close your eyes. If you feel guided, to put your hand on your heart and just feel your truth. Allow the Spirit to just meander into those places that you need love poured into, that you need refreshing, nourishment, healing. Come to the temple, bathe in the presence of love. Let go of the worry, lay down your sword. You've had enough. For I know you're weary, the battle has taken its toll. Illusion is shattering, the veil is rent, you're whole. So come to the fire and lay down the shame of the past. The blaze purifying, revealing your gold at last. For you hold the keys now, unlocking your shackles and chains. No longer a prisoner, you are now free and reclaimed. You're reclaimed. Surrender to my love. Trust that you're enough. Allow yourself to breathe and remember. Remember, remember, oh, remember, remember, remember who you are. So come to the mystery and give up the stories you've known. now collapsing, leading us all back to one. No longer divided, the fractals united in peace. And it's time to play now like children of love's destiny. Destiny. Surrender to my love and trust that you're enough. Allow yourself to breathe.
Heather Powers. So, oops. Okay, got it. So, don't want to do that. Remember who you are. There are many, many ways of remembering who you are. And one of the most profound ways of remembering who you are is, Barbara, can I give you this so I don't have it sticking me in the face? Is seeing it in others. And I want to go over some of the lyrics, but first, Mike, could you pull up that first slide? Not the first slide of the day, but just kidding. Okay, so, and you can bring the lights down a little bit. I don't generally like that when I'm speaking, but it's okay. Yeah, so go back, Mike. Just freeze it on that first one for me. So when you get to Guatemala, you're dropped off here. It's a short trip to Guatemala City, to be honest. And then we spend one night in Antigua. And then we go from Antigua to the Rio Dulce, which is where Casa Guatemala is, which is about 400 children come there every single day to be taught. And then their mothers or fathers or whoever takes charge of them, all the boats come in, drop them off, and then all the boats go away. And I said to somebody, I said, it's just like Beverly Hills. You see all the moms and dads in their SUVs. They drive in, pick up the kids, and drive away. It's the same thing. These are just little boats that they're all paddling in. So this is about 15 minutes. You get on a boat here every morning, and for 15 minutes, even further into the rainforest, they drop you off at Casa Guatemala. So this is the first thing you see when you get there. So I want to read you these lyrics that Heather wrote, which is this. You are the light of the world. You are the joy of the earth. You are the love of your life. So remember who you are. And I can only tell you that all the work we do, the introspective work we do to remember who we are, the meditating, the coming to church on Sundays, the taking the classes, all that stuff we do to remember who we are. And yet, like a bolt of lightning, all you really have to do is find it in someone else, and it reminds you. It lets you remember who you are. So I just brought a few slides for you to just take in the eyes that got to tell me to remember who I am. He was crawling up through my legs to get to the guitar. I think that's it. So the reason why you can bring the lights up now. So the reason why I showed you those is because I wanted an impactful way to start this talk. I've come home from Guatemala now 3 times, and I usually have these really fun stories to tell you, and I could tell you some really crazy stories of what the week was like, but And I wanted to actually just get up here and be how I feel from this trip. This was a different trip for me. Something different happened on this trip. There was a moment during the week when I sent a text to Kevin, and I said, I feel so inadequate being here. And I don't usually. Usually I feel like I am the gift. We're all bringing a gift. I didn't feel that way this time. I knew I brought my gifts there, and all of the gifts that you shared, and thank you so much for what you brought to Guatemala this year. And the title of my talk, by the way, is Get Your Butt Out of the Way. So, yeah. Apparently I have a hard time doing this, so I thought it'd be a good time to bring it up. And what I realized was that I just felt so inadequate, and I wrote to Kevin and said that to him, because I saw so much that needed to be done. I saw so much that we could do, that I could do. And I could only do so much. And people, you're all asking me, did you have a good time? And if you'll notice the hesitancy in my answer, I can't say, yeah, I had a great time, because it wasn't I went to have a great time. I had some great times, but it was a very challenging week. Physically, it was challenging, and emotionally, it was challenging. And looking into their faces, I can go there and I teach English. I teach singing, and this year we really worked to let them know what the English, what they were singing. Because I remember the last couple of years I'd go and I'd teach them a song, and when they performed it, I was like, they're so unanimated. They're just saying, I'm at home in the jungle. I'm like, do they know what they're saying? And of course the answer is no. So this year, we learned it. Estoy en casa en el sabre. I'm at home in the jungle. So as soon as I did it in Spanish to them, as best I could, they came alive. So we did the whole song in Spanish. You just haven't lived till you've watched me try to teach 400 children Spanish. And they at one point I said something, Estoy en casa en el árbol. But I said arbre, or I said something, and everybody just went. And I had to turn to my interpreter. I was like, what did I say? And she told me it was something stupid like dead bug or something. And so I was asking them to be at home with the dead bugs. And I fixed that. So, but it wasn't those times. And someone asked at the end of the trip, they said, what was your favorite moment? And interestingly enough, my favorite moment was after this class left me alone. They gave me this thing called the bibliothèque, which is really the nicest classroom there, which still is I spent a whole day cleaning it. And the woman said, was it not clean enough? And I was like, no. I said, for me, it really needed some cleaning. So I swept the floor and put all the books in order, and then the class came in, and the minute they left, I went, it's back to right where it was. All the dirt came back in. As they all went to get a book and threw them all back and left, I was like, oh, I see. So you want me to look at my control issues this week. But then I decided to clean it every day. It didn't matter. So I cleaned it every single day, and I told them, and then they were looking for me when we were leaving, looking for me to get on the boat, and they were like, look in the bibliothèque. He's probably trying to clean it before he leaves. I was in there, and they all walked in, and they went, wow, it really looks clean. I said, just know that this is how we're leaving it. Within one class, it will be gone. And I became okay with that. I was like, wow. So they left. They all left the room, and I was sitting there, and I grabbed my guitar, and I will play it sometime this year, and a whole song came to me. It hasn't happened in a long time. This beautiful song just came to me, and I just sat there in a classroom with kind of, the windows are all like wire, but outside is this gorgeous river and trees, and this whole song came to me. And I turned around, and the little girl that was making the funny face, that's the girl, by the way, that Nora said we should adopt. We're not. I've already raised children. I'll be happy to play with them. She was sitting in the corner. She had hidden and listened to me. And I had spent half an hour, 40 minutes writing this whole song. And she's like 5 or 6 and very loud. And she just sat there the whole time. I didn't even know she was there, and I turned around, and she went. And it was at that moment when her eyes connected with mine in a very different way, and I was like, she just saw who I was. She really saw who I was, because she saw me write a song, something so personal and intimate, and rewrite lyrics and scratch them out and try different ones and just keep the flow going. And there was no buts in my way at that point. Nothing was saying, oh, that's not a good lyric. Oh, you're on that. Oh, this. There was no judgment. It was just like flow. It was just flow. And someone witnessed that and then turned it right back at me. Not with the perfunctory applause, but with the, that was fun, thank you. All of those kids gave me that. So I went there to give, but boy, I received so much. You can remember who you are by looking into the eyes of the people you attract who love you. By understanding that you bring forth into your life what you are equal to. And if you don't like what you're equal to, change it up. Today's talk is called Get Your Butt Out of the Way. We have so many butts in our way. We do. And I guess I just want to bring this up here. So, love. We're talking about love. Remember who you are. You are love. Well, one of the greatest examples of love is when you give your love to someone else and someone gives their love in return. So I really feel that I have to really mention that Alfie and Kelly got married this weekend. With no fanfare other than this, they took what they've been living and experiencing and went and just took it to an even bigger, most incredible level. So I have a quote here today from Carl Jung. He says this: "One looks back with appreciation to the brilliant teachers, but with gratitude to those who touched our human feelings." So we appreciate all of our teachers in life, and we have great gifts from our teachers. But we have gratitude for those who touched our feelings. The curriculum is so much necessary raw material, but warmth is the vital element for the growing plant and for the soul of the child. I think we spend so much time in this teaching on the words of Ernest Holmes and all the great teachers, of what are we meant to learn, what are we meant to know, coming at us, coming in. How can we understand this? And yet, what we're really doing, what we're trying to do so desperately is feel from the inside out. And Ernest Holmes does say that the most powerful point of treatment, which means that place in treatment where the treatment no longer is just a group of words, where your treatment, your prayer, your knowing turns into something tangible. That happens when feeling is attached to it. It's not the words. It is not the understanding, the cerebral understanding. It is not your ability to do the 5 steps of treatment or the 7 if you keep bringing in the stuff. It's not. It's what's the feeling behind it. That's why I loved Emma Curtis Hopkins, that she didn't even care about your stuff. She didn't want to hear your stuff. She just wanted to know the truth. And she didn't even want to talk it much. She just wanted to know it. Jesus was like that, they say, that you could touch the hem of his garment and you were healed. Why? Not because he had some magic garment on, but because you, in your mind, had a feeling that when you touched it, you were moved, you were transformed. This heals me. That knowing, that feeling, that's what this entire teaching is about. So I go to Guatemala, and I am just surrounded by 400 children who are nothing but love, unconditional love, loving only. I watched this one kid smack this kid on the side of the head, and he went flying. And I started to say something, and the kid got up and started laughing, and then they hugged. And I was like, oh, God. They just showed anger, then, love only, forgive, and then they went off holding hands. And I was like, if only summits were like that. Really. So the feeling behind all of this, that's what we need to get to. And the but. So the title of my talk is Get Your Butt Out of the Way. And I want to tell you how that talk happened. So when we first got there, we went to Antigua, like I said, and we went to dinner on this rooftop restaurant in Antigua, which was beautiful. And we're on the rooftop and drinking margaritas or whatever everyone else was drinking. I was drinking it too. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting with Jose Pena, who he and his husband Scott are the two that brought this project to Global Truth Center 4 years ago and have been going every year. And Jose kept correcting me because I kept saying but. And he says, you mean and? I was like, yeah, and then I'd say but, and he'd go, and. And this went on for like all of dinner. That's annoying. It was. And finally, I'm sitting there, and I said, oh my God, I've got to get my butt out of the way. But every time I say but, I am literally clogging the conversation with something that I'm going to use to stop that flow, and I got it. And right there, I texted Barbara from the top of a restaurant in Antigua, and I said, the title of next week's talk is Get Your Butt Out of the Way. And I'm texting this, and Jose and Scott are looking at me, they said, are you sure you want to, like really commit to a talk title 10 days before your talk? You usually don't like to do that. I went, I am sure this is going to be perfect. They said, do you think you'll be this perfect when you don't have 2 margaritas? And right, so she got the text right away, and I was like, get your butt out of the way, because I got it. Now, this is before I went into to Casa Guatemala. So I've got this whole, but it worked itself through the entire week, because I kept coming up with these buts. But you shouldn't hit. No, and you should forgive. Let your feelings out and forgive. Instead of but just, how many of you use but a lot? Do you hear yourselves? You're going to hate me by the end of this month. Because I'm going to ask you to pay attention to when you say but, and to ask you to really think about get your butt out of the way and turn it into an and. Give yourself the ability to let something flow through you instead of stopping it. And that's true with love too. We stop the love. We get in the way of the love. We see things that look not like unlove, not love. So, Heather's lyrics, come to the mystery, give up the stories you've known. How many of you are still hanging on to the old stories of your life? Yeah. I have a lot of stories, and I love being a storyteller. That's one of the things I love doing. I love to tell stories. But there are some stories that need to go, just need to be done. And I love how she puts this. Come to the mystery. Give up the stories you've known. Our stories are our butts. That's another way of looking at it. Our stories are our butts. Our stories are the things that stop us. Because if you're going to tell a story, you've just stepped into the past. Even if you're going to have a good perspective on it, even if you have a new understanding of it, it's still an old story. The understanding may be new, and that would be great. But then let the story go. Let the understanding then take you further. And I think sometimes we forget to do that. The path, I love this line. First of all, I've never heard a person write a song with the word fractal in it. Have you? Every time I hear that, I'm like, that's clever. Did you rhyme fractal with anything? Good choice. Okay. Fractal, practical. Anyway, the lyric is, come to the mystery, give up the stories you've known. And then she says, the path now collapsing, leading us all back to one. The path now collapsing. We have so much talk about our paths, our journeys, right? So much so that I think we get in the way of the actual journey itself with our focus on what the journey is, how it should look, what's working for me, what's not working for me. And when you hear this, the path now collapsing. So There was a moment that I had taught the class. I had taught one of the classes, and they had all left, and I stayed to do something, probably clean, but I stayed for a little longer. And everybody went off into, believe it or not, in the rainforest, there's apparently a store where they have like little bags of ice that they sell, and they sell like coconuts that they've broken open and crushed, and it's supposed to all be really good. I don't know because I never found the store. But they all went to the store, and then I thought, oh, I'll catch up with them. So I thought, how hard can it be to find a store in the middle of a rainforest? Well, glad you asked. I took the path that I thought they said they were going on, and there was a moment when there were 3 paths off of the one path, and I thought, well, this one looks well-traveled, so of course I took the one, no. This one looked well-traveled, so I thought, obviously, the store is on the well-traveled path. It wasn't. So I took it, and I am lost in the wilderness. And I am just lost, and I can hear people, but there's no way I am going to find them off of the path, because I hear them over there, and I'm like, I'm not walking through here. I have no idea what I'm going to find. And so I just kept walking. Then I thought, I'll just go back. And so as I went back, I thought I'd try another path, and I made it to a house. You know how in LA people don't stop by people's houses unannounced? That's like a given thing, don't you think? How many of you welcome unannounced visitors to your house in the middle of the day? It's weird. In LA, it just doesn't. You guys do. That's good. But it doesn't happen that much. People do not stop by. Have you ever stopped by even like a really good friend's house, unannounced? You knock on the door, they're like, hi. What's up? You know, it's like, well, I stopped by a village house unannounced. The grandmother was almost completely naked. She just had a little thing here, but this was all open. And I was like, and of course I don't speak Spanish, un poquito. And they just all looked at me. And then held out some food. I guess I looked a little thin. I don't know. But I said no, because I try not to eat too much of the food, because my digestive system doesn't deal with it well. So I said no, and I said thank you, and I left. And I just, looking at them and where they were living, and in this house, I was trying to explain this to Kevin. We were walking the dogs this morning. I was like, the juxtaposition of yesterday walking around with people who lived in houses that were really just sticks with mud on it and some tin over it on the top and dirt floors and no clothes and walking through our neighborhood in Studio City. I said, you know, there's just something in me right now I have to get, it's just a little emotional. But their faces, their smiles, their love, their generosity, from a place in me that perceived that they didn't have a lot to be generous about. And that is so incorrect. And I said, and that is so incorrect, not but. That is so incorrect. So the path for me at that point really was collapsing. All of it, just collapsing. I started questioning Christianity and new thought, not questioning it as if it doesn't work for me, just questioning it. What's next? Where do we go now? How do we take this in a direction that stops making us look separate from one another? Because the volunteers there come from all over the world and all different religions. And my first year there, I was teaching We All Pray the Same. And the woman who taught the English class when I started was so angry, she went to the woman that ran it and said, he's teaching his religion. I don't think we should be teaching children a religion. And it's like, did she notice the lyrics? We all pray the same. And I had to have a talk with her, and that was 4 years ago, just to talk to her about what I was doing. By the end, she was singing the song as loud as anyone else. So what can we do to make that happen? How can we get our butts out of the way and be more inclusive of everything? Maya Angelou said this, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. I may not remember any of the names of those children, but every face that comes up on that screen, I remember. I remember who they are because they told me who I was. They reminded me who I was. And I don't think I have to go to Guatemala to find that. I think I could find it at Starbucks if I actually took the time to look. And if you're looking with the intention of seeing God, do you know what you're bringing forth? Do you know the love you are bringing into that room? Do you know the consciousness that you are bringing into that space if you're willing to do that and not see all the other crap? That's the job this month. Remember who you are means, are you willing to stop seeing? It doesn't mean you won't see it. It means you stop trying to hold on to it or stop trying to make sense out of the stuff that is nonsensical in the end. Just find the love. Go there. See the truth there. I was watching Sense8 last night, and there was a line that this guy in Africa was saying in the subtitle, and it said, only truth. Only truth. And then it said, my truth. My truth. And I got it. I was like, that's the problem. There is only truth. It's one truth. That's why we call this the Global Truth Center. It is a global truth. Come one, come all. It's the same truth. Love is at the center of everything. And we are all the same fractal of love moving through all orbits. That's the truth. So this month, I really want you to pay attention to when you say but. I want you to pay attention to when you stop yourself from letting yourself remember who it is. Remember who you are. Stop and notice when you are trying to attach yourself to one of your old stories. My journey home yesterday was very interesting because we had to leave Friday night at 10 o'clock at night, which meant we would be driving through all of these remote streets of Guatemala for what was supposed to be a 6-hour drive. And when I went out to get in the car with my daughter and one of the teens, Rachel Bork from our teen program, and I'm very, I'm pretty daring with my own life, but I'm not daring when I have other people to take care of. I'm not going to be daring with my daughter's life. I'm certainly not going to be daring with a life that I brought there. So we go to get in the car, and out, what they've brought me was something that I wouldn't get in to just sit in on a street. It was I called it lovingly the death trap, and it was just this little tiny metal death trap, and we were going to take a 6-hour drive through the night, and I was like, yeah, I don't see this working. And then they said, well, why don't you just get in and try it? I was like, all right. I got in. I'm a little claustrophobic to begin with, and the first thing I noticed is there are no seatbelts. And then I said, does it have air conditioning? They said, yes. I said, does it work? No. So I was like, and I'm thinking, all right, here comes the American who's like such, Mr. Cushy, who has his Mercedes. He's just wants something nice. But I was like, I can't do this. I can't. I know I'll miss my flight. I'll miss church. I know I won't get out of here for 4 days because all the flights were booked. I said, I don't care. I can't do this. Can't get in this car. And the driver was a very sweet man, but he had his wife and his 1-year-old baby with him. And they were going to drive all through the night. I said, let's not even talk about why is a 1-year-old baby going to be in a car with me for 6 hours. So it worked itself out. I said what I needed, and I said, and Nora, God love her, she said, I'll be fine with it. I was like, I will kill you. And so Rachel Bork, I will say honestly, she was on my side. Because she was like, Nora, there are no seat belts. And so, yeah. So finally they get me a truck. The woman who runs the place, her very handsome, big policeman boyfriend, he said, I'll give you my truck. Very Arnold Schwarzenegger. He said, I'll give you my truck and I'll give you my driver and you'll be fine. So I was fine with that. It had Bluetooth, it had air conditioning, it was great. So I was good. So, but, and it's why I'm kind of in the mood. And, Jesus. You're going to be just as annoyed all month, trust me. And, did you say but? No, I said and. Oh, and, So we drive for like 2.5 hours. It was nice. I'm kind of dozing off, and then we stop. And then we're told the roads are closed until 4 a.m. And there are like hundreds of cars everywhere, and it's all dirt and really smog. Like their gasoline is all over the place. And I was like, I'm fine. This is good. I'm in a car. There's air conditioning. I'm good. I'm just going to sit here. And we did. We sat there till 4 a.m. 4 a.m., right at 4 a.m., car started up. And we were in the front. And it started up. 5 minutes later, it stopped. Just traffic. So for 2 hours, he was going like up a hill and down and getting one car ahead. Up a hill, down, one car ahead. And then an ambulance came by. Couldn't get by. It was one of those most challenging trips I've ever been in. And the whole time, I am saying to myself, my life unfolds perfectly. My life unfolds, and I'm saying it the whole time. Now, Nora was sound asleep because she was right. She could have done that car. She can sleep through anything, anywhere. But Rachel and I are wide awake. I kept turning around, and Rachel's like, I'm awake. Which is good, because Rachel speaks enough Spanish to speak to the non-English speaking driver things I needed to ask. Like, how far are we? ¿Dónde está? To the aeropuerto. So anyway, to make a long story longer, but short. So we finally got through all of that, but we did not get to the airport. My flight was at 7:50. Now, mind you, I left at 10:30 p.m. We got to the airport at 7:15 a.m. Now, think about this for a minute. 7:15, the flight's at 7:50. They weren't so happy with us at Delta. They were already closed. They'd already closed. There was nobody at the Delta counter. They were like, sorry, you can't make it out today. And I just have to tell you, treatment works. I just said, my life is unfolding perfectly. Nora, Rachel, stay here. I ran up these staircases banged on the Delta door, and I just said, I have 3 tickets on this flight, and I need to be on it. And I think the guy was just he just saw God. And he went and got me 3 boarding passes and ran me down and he put our luggage through and ran us through, and he said, just so you know, if your luggage doesn't make the plane, they will take you off the plane. I was like, it's not going to happen, not a problem. So we get on it, and we're in our seats, and we're waiting. And it's like 1 minute, and we're waiting, and because we're all like, any minute we could be like, please get off the plane. And it pulled away, and I was like, and my life is unfolding perfectly. And then I spent the next 10 minutes just looking through all my pictures, and when I decided which pictures to show you. And I realized that life is both of those things. Yes, you can go to Guatemala and be in an orphanage, which is no longer called an orphanage, a learning center, with all of these children and seeing what you see. And then you can have a 15-hour hell of a ride. And it all has to be God, because if it isn't, you miss the point. And I said to myself, as I was sitting in my beautiful, lush Delta seat, really in a smelly outfit, I want to say, and I just was like, I have never flown looking like this, ever. And I was like, I love how I look. I love it. It's like we teach oneness, and then we go about our lives creating all the different fractals and thinking they're separate. They're not. So this month, as you go through your month, I'm going to invite you to, whether you are in the most beautiful moment of love or if you are at the DMV screaming at someone, check yourself at the door and ask yourself, do I want to let my butt stop me, or am I willing to remember who I am and let life just flow through me? There was a beautiful flow about to happen here at this center. There is an amazing flow of love and creativity, and I think we are the people at the right time and the right place to take this teaching to a much, much bigger level. And it's going to all be about the feeling, not what we're learning, but what we're feeling. And when we show the world what we're feeling, I guarantee you, the world's going to feel it and shine it right back on us. And then we will have peace. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I invite y'all to take a deep breath. And if you could take out your contribution, your giving, your investment, your pledge, your stewardship, whatever you call it. And let's read this together, shall we? Spirit in me is the open door to new ideas. Divine love, flowing as me, blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. In this moment, I enter a new life of prosperity and success, and so it is. Here we go. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Everybody now.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This healing, this healing, this healing day.
This healing, this healing, this healing day.
Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life.
Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life.
My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful life.
My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful life.
Thank you for the center, Spirit. Thank you for the center.
Thank you for the center, Spirit. Thank you for the center.
This growing, this growing, this growing center.
This growing, this growing, this growing center.
I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Because I am grateful.
Grateful.
So grateful.
So grateful.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Everybody now.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends.
My awesome, my awesome, my awesome friends.
My awesome, my awesome, my awesome friend.
Well, thank you for my trip, Spirit. Thank you for my trip.
Thank you for your trip.
Spirit. Thank you for your trip.
My expansive, expansive, expansive trip. For all of you.
Expansive, expansive, expansive trip.
Oh, thank you for your love, Spirit. Thank you for your love.
Thank you for your love, Spirit. Thank you for your love.
That heartfelt, that heartfelt, that heartfelt love.
That awesome, that awesome, that awesome love.
I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Because I am grateful.
Grateful.
So grateful.
So grateful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Indeed, thank you. So let's all focus on gratitude here and allow these gifts to bear witness to our prosperity and to our gratitude and for this wondrous sense of well-being we have here at our center. And I simply say, thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit, for this demonstration and for this opportunity to be in communion in this fashion. And we collectively affirm this by simply saying, and so it is.
1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Let me hear ya.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This healing, this healing, healing day.
This healing, this healing, this healing day.
I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Because I am grateful. So grateful.
So grateful.
Now just say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Period. Thank you. Okay, we have a few announcements. So Tuesday night is the first Exquisite Risk class. Tuesday night here is the first Exquisite Risk, and Wednesday night in Studio City is also the first Exquisite Risk. I'll be teaching it in both places this summer, 4 weeks, okay? So I hope many of you are coming. Are you looking for a way to serve your community, Sunday ambassadors and hospitality? So if you would like to be a part of our hospitality team, speak to Amy. Amy, where are you? Oh, stand up. Find the red curly hair and talk to her. Okay. Divine Dining, is there still spots open? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so again, Amy's the girl to go to. There you go. Okay. So next week is the membership meeting about the integration between Global 2 Center and Westlake Village. So now, so if you are not going to be here, and if you are a member, a voting member, there are absentee ballots available today to pick up. Please pick them up from Joyce, Reverend Joyce, and she will have you fill it out and give it back to her. Okay? Great. Okay, yes, the congregation practitioner this week. Thank you for doing that. We always seem to forget this. Dave, where are you, Dave? So stand up. Dave is our practitioner. He will be in the room, in the meditation room. If you have something you'd like to work through with him, have him know the truth about, please join him in that room. Okay. Tomorrow at 8:30 a.m., I will be on a program called Motivation Monday with Rich Oseguera. There you go. I met him at the conference I just did. He was amazing, and he asked me to be on his show. So it's Facebook Live. Just go onto your Facebook, and you'll find he and I there at 8:30 talking for a half an hour about trust and risk. So there you go. That's it. Yes. Is there anyone here today for the first time? Not Global Truth Center people, but yes. Go ahead. You are here for the first time? Anybody else? Right here? Okay, good. Just stand up for 1 second. We're not going to come to you and hug you, I promise. Oh, and right here? Yes. So, yes, we know where you are. So we have a packet for you. We have a welcome packet for you. That's why we want you to get it. Okay. Oh, and right here too. Hi. Right here too. How could we miss you in the front row? Because I'm out there looking. Yes. So thank you for bringing your consciousness to us. Can we bring the kids up? Oh, and you too. There you go. Welcome. So thanks for bringing your consciousness to us today and sharing with us today. All the little kids are on vacation.
Yeah, all the kids are on summer break.
All right, tell them what you did.
So am I on? Can you hear me? So I just want to introduce, this is the first half of our Global Truth Center teen group. They came out here to be with us today. Please take a moment to talk to these people. They're exquisite human beings, and they have some amazing things to say.
And just so you know, they drove 55 minutes to get here,
They did.
to be here. Yes.
Just to be here. So I'm going to hand this over to Alia.
Tell him what we did.
So we just kind of reflected on where we started in the teaching, who we were then, who we are now, and just remembered that. And kind of took time to think about that and appreciate it.
Did you notice a difference?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
For the better? Good, great. Same thing with you guys? Because you just started this, right? So what have you decided? What was it like for you?
Can you repeat the question, please?
You want it rephrased? No, how do you feel? I mean, how long have you been coming?
It's like a year, yeah.
So have you noticed a big difference in this year?
Definitely, yeah.
Like what's changed for you?
The way I look at things, like when I'm in school, I guess you can say, I look at, if there's a situation, like I know how to solve it, I guess, without worrying myself too much and knowing that everything will be fine,
You mean life is unfolding perfectly?
Yeah.
Try Guatemala. Okay. Good for you. Thank you for that. Yeah, all of us are still, we're all still working on that. Yeah, so good to get it at that age. How old are you?
I'm
You're 7? You're big.
17. 17, yeah.
This was not a trick question. Okay, good. Okay, so can I get all the practitioners up here? Now you're going to see a lot of people because the practitioners from Global Truth Center are here as well. Yeah, just go straight across the front here, guys. Yeah. Awesome, yes. No, we're going to line up right in the front. Yeah, you can even stay up on a thing if you want. Okay, so these people that you see standing up here, we're having a joint practitioner meeting right after service. So, how great to see this. So all of these people are here today to know the truth for you, to know who you are, even when you can't. Okay, so I invite you all now to stand up. Okay, so let's take a deep breath and give me some beautiful music, Alberto. So what I know is this. I know that there is a beautiful divine energy of love right here in this room, fully present, in the hearts and souls, in the very fractal of every person's being here. Every essence, every divine idea, the creative flow, no buts involved, only this perfect flow of life, of love. And that this service has provided an opportunity for all of us to look, to see, to understand, but most importantly, to feel from the very depths of our soul, the very depths of our beingness. And that feeling brings itself up, forward, and out into the world and finds its way right back where it came from, and that's home, casa. I'm so grateful to know this, so grateful to be a part of this amazing community. And I just step aside and allow the rest of this day to unfold breathtakingly as I know it will. And I just let it be so, as we all say, and so it is. So we thought we'd go out today with Put a Little Love in Your Heart. So let's do that, shall we?
Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know, we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide, my yes will be your guide. Put a